Here's two good friends. Tonight is kinda special. The beer will pour. Must say something more somehow.
Battle of the Network shows. Join Rick Brooks and Mike Kogel as they explore the TV of the 70s and 80s through hand-picked episodes of their favorite and not-so-favorite series.
Welcome to another Battle of the Network shows. I'm Mike. I'm here with Rick, and today we're veering off from our usual pattern. We're going to actually talk about a commercial. One that Rick introduced me to about a year ago from when we're recording this. And I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about it. Then we'll, of course, play the audio. The video will be on the blog.
Yeah.
And we'll go from there.
It's a commercial for Lowenbrau. It's a beer ad. It's 30 seconds. I feel that it may be one of the best ads of all time. I think it suggests something about, America, about all of us, about guy culture, and it's got, celebrity. It's got everything. But yeah. Let's just let everybody listen to it, and then we'll break it down after.
All right, here it goes.
Here's two good friends. Tonight is kinda special.
Hey, where you been? Well, it wasn't easy getting tickets for this game.
Hey, Bob.
Eddie, I know exactly what I want. I want the biggest steak you've got and a bottle of Lowenbrau. Steak and Lowenbrau. Dolan, you're a genius.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Here's to the chef. Here's to the bartender.
There you go.
Yeah, now, is this not a great commercial?
I think it might. I agree. It might be one of the best commercials ever. Certainly, I'm going to say the best beer commercial ever.
Yeah.
I know you got your taste great, less fillings.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Spuds McKenzie.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Clydesdales, like
yeah.
Cute Animals, things like that. Yeah, tearjerkers from Budweiser, but
yeah,
nothing comes.
What was up?
Yeah.
Almost forgot that one.
That's right. Yeah, but this isn't. I mean, and seriously, it's a good ad because it's not just pushing like making you want to drink Lowenbrau, but it's suggesting like it's aspirational. I mean, it's intending to like sell a lifestyle and think, hey man, this makes me think of like good things that make me happy.
And it's kind of like a little short story.
Yeah, it suggests like so much more even than you see in the 30 seconds, I believe.
Right. Just describe some of the visuals.
Yeah, well, we're opening up in like a very crowded like hot spot, and what I'm assuming this is New York City.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I assume it's New York City. I also assume it's like fall or winter.
Yeah, it's like a jam-packed, bar restaurant kind of thing.
It's
really reasonably nice place.
It might only be like 6 o'clock, but just that feeling of the way, when it gets dark.
It feels like,
it might be raining, and in walks our hero, Bob Dolan.
Yes, Dolan, Robert Pine from Chips, of course.
Yeah, Robert, the great
Robert Pine. Yeah.
Father of Chris Pine.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with him, I don't know how you can be, but I feel like he's in the mold of in the Harrison Ford sphere of kind of actor.
I'm intrigued by this.
More of a TV version of him, but just kind of, like that era Harrison Ford, not grumpy Harrison Ford.
Okay.
But a little bit, a little cool. Maybe a hint of cowboy. I don't know, just something about him.
Well, he's definitely meant to suggest like kind of you're a guy's guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it works.
And I mean just Robert Pine in general, but
in
this commercial too.
Right.
Yeah,
so they cast well, is what you think.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like an indeterminate age kind of male.
Right.
Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but I guess if you want to go through. So he's.
Well, and there's a group of guys. Well, he comes in. You see briefly him taking off his overcoat and handing it to someone, but it's so crowded it's hard to see.
Yeah.
And this is a place that's got a bar, but it's also got the not really leather, but the curved booths.
Yeah, the guys can huddle in.
Like I feel like it smells like tobacco and
sure.
booze and steak and just, and there are women there too. It's not just the guys, but it's like, and I feel like these guys, they all work together.
Yeah.
And he's just, he had a mission, so he's a little late.
Yeah, so...
He sits down, and, as you heard, that they're asking where he was, and he was getting tickets to some game.
Yeah. It wasn't easy getting tickets to the big game.
No, and I feel like, he had to go across town.
Yeah.
Like maybe he left work a little early. He had to go across town to get these tickets.
Right, from some shady reseller. Yeah, it didn't sound like he got him from like his cousin or somebody that at work just happened to have an extra pair. He actually had to go to a scalper probably.
Yeah, right, and maybe he had to go to Staten Island or something.
Staten Island. Yeah,
something, the subway or a cab.
He's weird. He doesn't want to hear. I mean, they're kind of busting his chops for being so late, but he's like, he doesn't really want to hear about it. I mean, he's been through something. Yeah. Just even if it's just navigating the traffic or the subway or whatever. Yeah, he's
just
been
the
on a
way
journey.
he sits in the booth, even it's like,
it's like,
thank God.
Exactly. Thank God.
And so, and their fashions are all of a 70s kind of.
Yes, 1977.
Like his jacket's got a kind of a plaid thing going on, I think.
Yeah.
Next to him, you might recognize also Michael Moriarty.
Yeah.
Known from film and television and going a little bit wacky.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like in a powder blue suit.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy in the middle who, like, when we've talked about it before, like when Dolan's not around, I feel like that guy's the boss.
Oh, the Jim Valvano?
Yeah. He looks, exactly like Jim Valvano. Like, but when Dolan shows up,
Yeah.
or that guy might still behave like he's
Yeah.
the head of the group, but everybody knows. Like, Dolan's so cool.
Yeah, Dolan's their leader, I think, but the Jim Valvano, Baba Booey kind of guy, he's kind of like the wise guy and maybe the loudest of them.
Yeah.
He's like the one that always is kind of like the squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
But Dolan's like the real leader.
And then there's another guy.
Yeah, the poor nondescript guy that he's just kind of... He's kind of like the fourth one in the group. He's kind of like lucky that...
Yeah. And we know, too, this is not their first time at this place.
Yeah.
Because the waiter comes up, says, "Hi, Bob." That's how we know he's Bob.
Yeah, it's a place where everybody knows their name.
And gives him, like a 3-foot menu.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows what's on that menu?
Yeah. But Dolan knows what he wants.
Yeah, he cuts him off. He doesn't even need to look at the menu.
Yeah.
He's been thinking about this probably for the whole time when he got the tickets. This is what's going to make this worthwhile.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that this might even be more appealing to him right now than that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they still got a game to go to.
I think he went to get the tickets just so he could have an excuse.
Yeah. Right.
Like, maybe as a family, I don't know, but you can't always afford steak and lowenbrau.
No, and a game, and a big game.
Yeah, and a big game.
I mean, just think about this, really. I mean, these are four guys. Maybe they're part of it is they're getting away from their wives or whatever and their families, but they're a night in the town, and for some reason I'm assuming, well, it's the middle of the week. It's a weeknight. They're coming from work.
Right.
So, I mean, this is kind of, this is a great way to unwind.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Friday. Maybe they don't have work the next day, but still, it's kind of a big deal probably for all these guys to be out here.
Yeah. And maybe when he started on his journey, he just thought, well, I'll have maybe a burger and a beer.
Yeah.
And then it became such an event just getting the tickets. The
More
more he gets, he's like, no, forget this.
Burger's not going to do it.
Yeah. So he doesn't even have to look at the menu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and he doesn't even ask for like a specific steak. He just wants, give me the biggest steak you got and a bottle of Lowenbrau.
Right. Yeah.
So what do you think they're going to bring him? Do you think they're going to bring him like a?
I think it's going to be like a Fred Flintstone kind of.
Like a brontosaurus steak that'll tip over the whole table and their Lowenbraus will go flying.
Yeah. It might even be a terrible cut of meat.
Yeah, they might
like
just
the size
say,
of the steak seems more important to him than the quality.
Here's where like it might be easy to assume like, okay, this guy, they're going to think he's a jerk and just give him some crappy like Ponderosa restaurant chop steak or something like that. I don't know about that. They know him. They've established they know him, so I don't think they're going to screw him over.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they might not give him like a the most tender kind of thing, but they'll probably give him at least a semi decent thing.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be good cut of steak.
Yeah, and you think that Dolan is going to really get the biggest one, and do you think like the other three guys are going to get upset when they realize like, hey, Dolan's got a steak like twice as big as the ones we got?
I think they'll get ones that are, within, shooting distance.
Okay.
But I think it'll also match the pecking order.
True.
So the Jim Valvano Baba Booey guy.
Yeah.
He'll probably get the second biggest one.
Yeah.
Moriarty will get the third biggest one, and the other guy will get like a,
Yeah.
I don't know, just like a flat iron steak.
Yeah. With even a little gristle on it.
Yeah.
That guy.
And he doesn't have. He's the quiet guy. He's
Yeah.
boy, and he's also thinking. I kind of like Grolsch better than Lowenbrau.
You better not say it out loud though.
No.
He's
Got the
like
fun
one
bottle and the thing.
He's one cool hire in accounting away from being out of this group,
Yeah.
And then they'll just let Brad from accounting like pal around with him sometimes. So
Right. Yeah.
This guy's he might be on thin ice, but maybe not. You know, I like to think that these guys are good friends outside of work and
I think so. He probably brings somebody to the group that
yeah,
none of the rest of them do.
yeah, maybe even
Might
if it's
be
like
just access to something that they want, or
right.
maybe he's got the best car.
Yeah.
He's got something.
He's contributing something, yeah. And do you, what kind of? I'm assuming they're going to see like a basketball game for some reason. I mean, it's
That
probably
works.
basketball or
night-
hockey.
Because football, that would be such a. As we're assuming it's New York,
Yeah,
like even, and probably the middle of the week. So
yeah. I'm thinking like the old Garden or the old Madison
Yeah.
Square Garden, and they're like right across the street.
Right.
This place is
And
like
it might
very,
even
within
be
walking distance.
like that might because it's definitely
Yeah, so it's going to be a good game, and then
yeah
they're going to be loaded up.
late 70s, right? So
Yeah, 1977 could be the
is that post Knicks at their height, or
like the early 70s probably, but yeah, the Knicks probably would have been they weren't a joke. I mean,
yeah
it'd be probably cool to see the Knicks playing the Celtics or something. A nice couple of big Eastern teams,
Yeah.
and
maybe even courtside.
yeah, I mean maybe it wasn't like standing room only. Maybe Dolan was like getting great seats.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully vetted. Hopefully they don't go there and find out they got counterfeit tickets or something and spoil the whole evening.
Yeah.
I'd like to think Dolan's smarter than that.
Dolan, you're an idiot.
Boy, yeah, they would really turn on him if that were the case. They'd
He's
probably
like, hey, we still got steak and Lowenbrau.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, yeah. Dolan, you're a genius.
they'd probably just go right back across the street and get
Yeah.
hammered. Just have
Right.
some more Lowenbrau and get some.
Yeah, what can we get you, Bob? I want another big
I want the second biggest steak you got and another bottle of
a
Lowenbrau.
pitcher of Lowenbrau. Keep bringing the Lowenbrau.
Yeah, just keep that Lowenbrau coming.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily abandon these guys yet, but
No.
we should mention that the awesome song,
Yeah.
the "Let It Be Lowenbrau," that was one of the best jingles of all time too.
Yeah.
And it was actually Arthur Prysock. I found out years. I always assumed it was Lou Rawls singing that Lowenbrau song.
He's a butt man.
Yeah. I should have known better. I really
Who
should
is
have.
Arthur Prysock?
He was. It wasn't Lou Rawls. I'll tell you that. He was like kind of a similar type singer. I mean, his voice is similar to me, and it's one of those things where like,
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't like a huge recording star. And I think maybe he's probably best known for doing this. But there's no shame in that as far as I'm concerned. But it's one of those things like once you realize that it's not Lou Rawls, it's like, oh, okay, then you can tell more of the difference. But
Yeah.
especially as a kid, I thought, hey, that's Lou Rawls singing the Lowenbrau song, and that was
His voice, it sounds that his voice in that song sound like beer
sounded like beer, like a
and
nice,
steak,
like a nice heavy beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are guys, and it's like kind of a guy singer,
Yeah.
But the whole. I mean, there were a lot of these Lowenbrau commercials, and they're all like,
Mostly
pitching
guys.
this idea of camaraderie, like guys being guys, and just
And also
being good
like
friends.
Lowenbrau being special.
Yeah, tonight is kind of special. Something about Lowenbrau that
Yeah.
makes it a special night. You're not getting the cheap stuff. It's Lowenbrau,
Yeah.
not just any beer.
Yeah.
And I should mention too that one of the big things for Lowenbrau and me growing up was Chris Berman. There was like an Orioles outfielder named John Lowenstein, and every time Chris Berman would do his name in the highlights, he'd call him John Let It Be Lowenstein. Yeah, back in the days when
Chris Berman was doing
that was really
funny
cool.
names. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I loved the Lowenbrau commercials, and
Yeah, that's what I do want to come back to these guys, but well, let's stay on the guys and then come back.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
The fact that there are more of these.
Yeah.
First of all, we love the Robert Pine wanting the steak in the bottle of Lowenbrau, like how he says it.
Yeah, not a bottle
His
of,
voice.
not bottle of Lowenbrau.
Yeah. Bottle of.
Bottle of Lowenbrau.
Yeah. and he's like sitting like kind of slid down in the booth a little bit.
Yeah.
But his hands, like he uses his hands, like when he says the biggest steak.
Right, he's like making it very clear what he wants. This is a guy that knows what he wants. That's part of why he's the leader.
And he's looking over at the waiter, like kind of, his head cocked.
Don't waste your time here, buddy.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want.
Right. And then all the other guys just fold up their menus.
Yeah. They're like, well, game over,
Yeah. And then I love both the way the actor does it, but also kind of the way they cut the guy saying, Dolan, you're a genius. But,
yeah.
I mean, he looks at everybody. He's like, Dolan? And then he looks around again and he's got this, grin.
Yeah, big grin.
Yeah.
A big steak-eating grin.
Yeah, steak-eating grin.
yeah, sorry, I stepped on you doing it there.
No,
but yes,
that's good.
You're a genius. I mean, he's just... These guys are just so satisfied with themselves. I mean, it's like they finally hit... It's like they've hit the meaning of life.
Right.
Like, who knows what's going on at home? Maybe they all have, like, failing marriages and they're behind on their mortgages and... Maybe, they're in thin ice at their jobs, but for tonight, at least for like this night, they got, sports, they got beer,
Yeah.
What else could they ask for, really?
And the next day when they go to work or the next Monday or whatever, they're still going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
Like somebody, someone who knows that went to the game. How was the game? Like, the game was fine, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
Dolan came in. We were all looking at the menus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Frank's thinking about getting fish. And you know which guy is Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he just says, he lays it out.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to look at a menu.
Yeah.
Biggest steak you got in a bottle of Lowenbrau.
Yeah.
That was it.
And everybody at work is like,
Dolan.
Man, that Dolan.
He's a genius.
Dolan might have even gotten a promotion out of this.
And the other guy, the guy who said the genius line, he's making hay out of that too. And you know what I said?
Yeah, right.
Dolan, you're a genius. He is.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be talking up his whole role in the
Right.
Not taking credit away from
That
Dolan.
guy, by the way, is in sales.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're selling, but
totally. Yeah, that guy's in sales.
yeah.
And
The one guy, Frank's in accounting, or Moriarty, I don't know. He's like middle management.
yeah,
Kind.
yeah. And what do you think Dolan? I mean, I'm thinking Dolan might parlay this into like rising up in the ranks, but maybe he's already. Do you think these guys are more or less equal, but in different departments? But like in the social group, Dolan's the leader. But what about at work?
I think they're probably equal, yeah.
Yeah, these guys could even maybe carpool together under certain circumstances.
I think Dolan, I don't know. Yeah, they could. I mean, if it's new, well, maybe. They might be coming in from Jersey.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They get together.
Frank drives because he's got the good car.
Yeah, they get together for barbecues like during the summer.
Yeah.
Every now and then they've tried having vacations together.
Yeah.
Maybe a little swapping action.
Maybe
A couple years ago that
yeah.
they quickly put that behind
That's
them and
right,
then just decide to just stick to going to the big games. And,
Yeah. Right.
But it's a good crew. I'm very intrigued by Dolan.
Yeah.
And what he might be up to, but guy's a thinker and he's decisive.
Yeah.
So those are good
I think
qualities.
he's a problem solver.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
Yeah.
He's like when people have trouble, they go to Dolan.
Yeah. He's a straight shooter too.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they
He's a
like
straight
about
shooter,
him.
yeah.
And I like how, I mean, we're assuming that they have some kind of white collar work, but just the way he says that, it's the biggest steak you got. And a bottle of Lowenbrau. I mean, it's just blue collar enough to be accessible. Like these aren't.
They're like blue collar guys who've made it white collar.
Yeah, it's or what we used to call the middle class, which used to exist in America.
Right.
That's one of the things that's great about this ad. I mean, it's guys that can afford to get these expensive courtside tickets.
Yeah.
To this huge game.
Right.
That we keep building up the more we go on. They can afford steak and Lowenbrau. They're not even worried about the price.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope.
It's not every day.
Right, but
they got to manage their money.
Yeah,
but every now and then you can have
go out and treat themselves. Yeah. And they're having more than one Lowenbrau there. And when they go to the game, I don't know if they have Lowenbrau at the Garden, but they're getting beers and hot dogs when they go to the game. These guys are doing the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna be. They're gonna be in an interesting state the next morning.
Yeah. Boy, I shouldn't have had that hot dog.
Yeah. You think? I want to think that I hope Dolan didn't like abuse this and go into the to the concession stand and go, I know exactly what I want. Give me the biggest hot dog you got in a
bottle
in a souvenir cup full of Lowenbrau.
We don't have Lowenbrau.
Yeah, and even Valvano's like Dolan. Really, it was great at Pete's across the street, but let's not try to recreate that.
Right.
Yeah, let's assume that didn't happen.
Yeah, no. We got to assume Dolan's always on his game.
Yeah, or even like they're sitting in the stands and some guy comes by with peanuts and cotton candy or whatever, and Dolan's hey stops.
Listen, the biggest bag of peanuts you got, and a stick of cotton candy.
Peanuts and cotton candy.
Dolan,
you're a genius.
And what you do,
yeah,
you put the peanuts in the cotton candy.
Yeah.
So then you get some crunch along with the.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
We're kind of joking about that, but like you said, Dolan, that kind of fits with his thing as a problem. So Dolan's a guy, well, we know that he knows how to get the tickets.
Yeah.
Dolan's a guy that knows things.
Right.
He knows, exactly what to order in a restaurant. He knows exactly which overcoat to get and wear in a night like this. He knows how to, do what God knows what to get the tickets to the big game. Dolan, I'm sure, is the guy that picked this place.
Yeah.
And he was the one that went there before all four of them got going. Dolan was the one that was, he was all over this.
We're going to Larry's.
Yeah.
Someone, Frank.
Yeah, poor Frank.
Like, Larry's?
Yeah.
I gotta go to Larry's again.
Again?
I kind of want Italian.
Yeah.
You don't want Italian before a basketball game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we're going to be hanging out all night. We don't want a garlic breath.
Yeah.
And, but then at the game, too, I think, the Knicks got in some trouble.
Yeah.
The coach walked over.
Yeah.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
You get the biggest player you got. And you do a bottleneck defense. I don't know what that is. It is just, you bottleneck them.
Yeah, so Dolan probably knows basketball, too.
Yeah.
Like, he's, throughout the whole game, he's giving them, little insider bits and stuff.
Right. But he's not like a blowhard about it.
No, he's
He
probably
actually
cool.
knows.
And I bet, probably occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally, to make the game a little bit more interesting, he's got a little something riding on it, Yeah. So he gets these little tips and stuff, and he passes them on it, and maybe every now and then he'll help the guys and tell them, look, he'll give them a little tip on who to bet on or whatever, like take the Knicks and the points or,
Yeah.
He's just that kind of guy.
He is.
I wish I were more like Dolan.
I do, too.
I mean,
I don't need to eat steak. We know now, Dolan probably died.
yeah,
From heart attack.
Dolan didn't live to a ripe old age.
But boy, did he enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, it probably wasn't just a steak. He probably had a baked potato smothered with butter and and everything and who knows what else and maybe the token vegetable, but
isn't it the baked potato?
A token green vegetable.
Okay.
Maybe he got green beans or something. Yeah. It might just been steak and starch.
Right. Only two things you need in life.
Yeah.
Wait, three things you need in life.
Yeah.
Steak, starch, and Lowenbrau.
Lowenbrau,
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys.
Meanwhile, Frank is retired and living a great life in Florida, and
very content.
yeah, right,
But
because he got his health together.
Yeah, and he probably they probably got he's got a group of 4 guys that they go to the coffee shop, and he acts he's probably the leader of that group,
Right,
these old retirees,
Yeah.
and he's basically taking everything he learned from Dolan and acting like it's his own stuff.
Right.
So this is the best time of his life.
Give me the biggest croissant you have, and a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Croissants and coffee. Frank, you're a genius. And Frank sits there beaming.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about my friend Bob?
Yeah.
He was a genius.
Yeah, but when he tells it, it's he was he was probably the one
Yeah.
that was the genius even back then.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Frank, how do you know all this stuff?
was one time I went to get tickets for a game and just,
Yeah.
it was, I came in, I just knew what I wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You
I
know.
saved the whole night.
This guy Dolan was going to get fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Fish.
I mean, that was in the day when you could eat steak all the time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we eat fish. But, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see myself hanging out with these guys and
Yeah.
going to a basketball game at the Garden with them. It sounds like a pretty cool night.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the steak and Lowenbrau, hey, I don't know much about the Lowenbrau, but good steak sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So there are a whole series of these. At least one more features both Robert Pine and Michael Moriarty. It's a skiing one. We need to look at that one again, I think, just for our own sake. Because I swear to God, someone calls him Bob in that one, too. That's the one where he plays the prank. Like, it's two guys. It's him and Moriarty and two women.
Yeah.
And they can't find him on the ski hill, and he's already in the lodge drinking Lowenbrau.
Right. They're all, like, worried sick about him.
Yeah.
They're like, they send out, like, a rescue party and
Right.
like, an APB for this guy, and
Yeah.
it turns out the guy's been sitting there.
Yeah, it's like a ski chalet, and he's up in the window, like,
Yeah,
Hey.
he's been sitting by the fire, drinking
just-
Lowenbrau the whole time.
Yeah.
Once again,
Dolan,
he's
you're a jerk.
Dolan's always one step ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like,
And there's one where Michael Moriarty, he's really the threat.
I guess
And
so.
another guy are running.
oh yeah,
Like at night, I can't even figure out where they're at night, and they're just like, they need to go another mile or something.
yeah,
But it's going to be worth it because they're going to get a Lowenbrau.
yeah. I guess that was probably like at the height of like when jogging
jogging.
as a craze,
Yeah.
as a health craze, So like two guys jogging, you wouldn't have to have a set time. You just go out and do it. It's just something you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have that sweet Lowenbrau
Yeah.
waiting for you.
And then there's one where a guy on the beach like brings a wagon load of Lowenbrau
Yes.
to his friend and his friend's wife to thank them for something.
Yeah.
And there's just an air of some stuff might happen.
Yeah, like
Once they get to Lowenbrau in
there's
them.
possibilities. Let's
Yeah.
just put it like that. Yeah. Which hey,
Yeah.
that's part of the American dream, I guess. I don't know that's sort of. But all these commercials are like that middle class kind of, like Dolan and his crew. They're in an urban setting, but I think we're thinking of them as living suburban lives.
Yeah.
Like they're not in a brownstone, and they got houses with a 2-car garages out in the suburbs or something like
Yeah.
that. Even back then, but yeah.
And Dolan told them what neighborhood to buy in.
Yeah, that's right. He hooked him up with his realtor.
Listen, Newark is going down the
Yeah.
toilet. Get a little further south.
Yeah,
It's a little bit longer ride, commute.
yeah,
We can carpool, we can take the train, whatever, but,
yeah.
they got good houses.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
They got a good little town.
yeah,
You could maybe have a swimming pool,
yeah. It was
you know.
what a ride while it lasts, huh?
Yeah.
Even in the 70s when, things weren't going so well, 1977 when this ad was, but, despite oil shocks and inflation, these guys still have enough money and they're comfortable enough to go during the middle of the week to a basketball game, out to get a nice dinner, some Lowenbrau.
That's probably one of the reasons Lowenbrau was, a special treat because of the inflation and stuff.
Yeah,
Like, normally it would just be their beer, but they got to kind of hold off because
yeah.
it's imported.
Yeah, probably on the weekends they're not necessarily chugging Lowenbraus in their backyards.
No.
Across the fence, like talking to each other. They're saving it for a night out. That's what makes this such a unique, special combination that Dolan's hit on here.
Right. And every once in a while, like Dolan has some stashed.
Yeah,
He's got, he's got that refrigerator in the garage.
yeah.
And every now and then he's,
yeah,
let's get a Lowenbrau.
yeah, yeah,
I'll show you, because he can fix his car, too.
yeah.
He's got a car, he can fix it.
Right. He'll be tinkering with his car sometimes out in the garage,
yeah. And maybe, like, one of the guys has to come over to help him. He needs a second pair of hands.
and and he makes it worth his while.
Yeah. And then they like, sit at
Right.
the foot of the garage and
Yeah.
have their Lowenbrau.
Just cracking open that Lowenbrau.
Yeah, maybe a cigar.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. Like I said, I was too young to appreciate that kind of America, and maybe it never even existed, but
Yeah.
I'd like to think that it did. And that's why I love this ad. It just takes me back to this specific time and place in America, and I think something that we'd all like to have. Maybe you're not into basketball, maybe you're not into steak specifically, but there's something more to it. It just suggests something. Just being able to do this kind of thing.
Special. It's kind of special.
It's very special. Well, yeah.
It's Lowenbrau.
It's kind of special.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Dolan may have elevated it from kind of special to, perfection with just that one order.
Because he's a genius.
He is.
Fun, all the shows A to Z and the facts. What's behind what you see? TV Guide, the whole world of TV. That's entertainment. The stars underneath all the glow and the news from the people who know TV Guide. It's a fabulous show, so buy a TV Guide and read TV Guide. That's entertainment.
Time again for the TV Guide game, in which we go into my collection of old TV guides, pick one at random, and right now I'm going to read what happened that night, what actually was broadcast, courtesy of the TV Guide, and I'm going to try to guess what Mike would actually watch from that day. And right now, I actually have from a Los Angeles area TV Guide.
Ooh.
It's Friday.
Home of television.
Pardon me?
Home of television.
That's right, home of television. So this is legit here.
Right.
Okay, this is from Friday, March 11th, 1983, and we're going to do 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
1983.
1983, Friday, March 11th.
Okay.
So first up, we got CBS at 8 p.m., Channel 2 in the Los Angeles area. The Dukes of Hazzard. And tonight on the Dukes are the first to be forced off their land when Hogg is duped into a partnership with phony land developers who are buying up the county for strip mining. And I don't know if I see any notable guest stars in that one. Okay, NBC. The Powers of Matthew Starr. Matthew and Walt join an air show to find a stolen plane containing top-secret NATO plans. Then we've got...
Say who played Matthew Starr?
Peter Barton. And Louis Gossett Jr. Was Walt.
I remember the show.
Yeah. On ABC, we have Benson.
Ooh.
And it's closed caption, I might mention. Not all these shows are closed caption.
No,
Benson
early days.
is. Benson discovers that his nephew, a college basketball star who's getting good grades and help from a rich alumnus, can barely read or write. Very dramatic, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Now on PBS, it looks like we've got Frontline on one channel and Washington Week in Review at 8 p.m. on the PBS channel. So you have those options if you so desire. Okay, at 8:30, the other shows were half-hour shows, so we go to ABC. Following Benson is At Ease. Tony and Valentine, who are played by David Naughton and Jimmy Walker, face restriction for gambling on base. And Richard Jekyll is also in the cast, and there's a big full-page ad that declares that it's a new comedy smash. It's the most irregular outfit the regular army ever saw, and it's a 5-star comedy.
Ah.
And it's got like a...
I don't think any of those things is true.
It's like a Jack Davis. It may actually be written by or drawn by Jack Davis. Drawing here, full-page ad.
Yeah.
And it looks very wacky.
You got a tank. You have people hanging off the tank, I think.
Yeah.
It's like some sort of pool or...
Yeah, some kind of makeshift hot tub kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's like sandbags.
With somebody's got a bottle of champagne and a overturned helmet with ice in it.
Oh, there's a guy wearing a bucket. Or a barrel, I mean.
Yep.
Is he holding a fish? What is he?
It's either a fish or a stocking. Or
a stocking.
I don't know.
Boy,
and Jimmy Walker's playing cards.
It certainly does seem irregular. That part, I think, is probably true.
Yes, I think.
The fact that I don't remember the show existing brings some of the other parts into question.
Yes. It looks like PBS, there's another Wall Street week on one of the channels. Okay, and 9 o'clock, CBS, following the Dukes, it's Dallas. Walt Driscoll is arrested at the airport. Catherine and JR discuss plans to undermine their common enemies, and Bobby orders Mark to stay away from Pan. Bobby means business.
Mark.
On NBC, it's Knight Rider. Michael tries to catch hijackers who are knocking off shipments carried by independent truckers. James Whitmore Jr. is in the guest cast. And okay, I'm going to have to show you the ad again for this one because on ABC, it looks like another show that didn't last too long. Renegades. Renegades, yes, not to be confused with the later Renegade. Renegades, right. Crime drama. The team goes after car strippers who use a souped-up car to divert police attention. And in the guest cast is Terry Nunn, who was in the band Berlin. Huh. I see. And somebody named Jay Scorpio is in the guest cast, which I don't know who that guy is, but...
It sounds like a character on the show, not...
Yeah. No, that's the actual actor name.
Who's in the regular cast?
Paul Monis as JT, and Marciano as James Luisi. Yeah, but here's the ad. Life on the street. It made them tough. It made them smart. It made them cops. Renegades.
Cops dressed like the Warriors.
Exactly. Yeah, that is very suggestive of that, isn't it? I definitely want to see it.
So they're undercover, I guess?
I'm thinking that's what it is, and they're a team of some kind. It's
right.
like an ethnically diverse team, I can say from looking at the ad, and I don't remember this show at all.
Gender diverse?
Yes. I don't remember this at all, but I want to see a promo now. I don't necessarily want to see an episode, but I want to see an ABC promo, like with Ernie Anderson, Renegades, you know? So that's pretty exciting. And other than that, on PBS, let me see what we've got here. All-Time American Songbook, a salute to songwriters with Dinah Shore, Judy Collins, and Melba Moore, Bobby Short, a few others. And Life on Earth, a documentary. I think we've covered the options pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to decide. Before you say anything, let me pick what you would watch here.
Well, I have to make my picks to myself.
Yes.
I have to write them down.
Yeah, so while you're doing that, I'm going to admire these cool ads for At Ease and the Renegades. I mean, that's a great tagline, if nothing else. Life in the street, it made them tough, it made them smart, it made them cops. And they are diverse, but they all look relatively young. So there is that. And this is outside the game, but at 10 o'clock, by the way, Falcon Crest, Remington Steele, and Tales of the Gold Monkey.
Well, as a child, I would have watched Tales of the Gold Monkey, although I question why it's on at 10.
It seems
like
it always on that late?
I don't
seems
think
like
so,
a
because
real
I watched
misfire.
it, and this is 1983. I was like 10.
Yeah.
I still had to go to bed before 10.
It's not listed as a repeat or anything, but it seems like that show should have been on like an 8 o'clock show.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it didn't last.
Yeah. And why counter-program against soaps with that? It was against Falcon Crest.
And Remington Steele. A repeat of Remington Steele.
Soap.
Yeah, but definitely more of an adult...
And Falcon Crest was the same network as Dallas, right?
Yeah, Falcon Crest was CBS.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tales of the Gold Monkey was on ABC.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so you've made your choices.
I've made my choice.
And I'm going to try to read your mind here and see what you might have picked.
Okay.
I'm gonna rule out Benson and the Dukes and PBS. I'm gonna think you would go for Powers of Matthew Starr for Curiosity at 8 o'clock.
That was my initial impulse, but then I would have only been able to watch half the episode because at 8:30 I can't resist At Ease.
That's a good point.
I think in a non-DVR era,
yeah,
I would have had to watch a Benson in order to watch. And I did watch. I was a fan of Benson when it was on the network, but I also remember watching that Powers of Matthew Starr. So
in this case, you wouldn't want to risk missing the second half and being caught hanging in that one. So
I think so, and I wouldn't want to only watch half of the Powers of Matthew Starr.
Okay.
Because the second half's the better half.
Right. Okay.
They might end on some cliffhanger to keep me around, and then, what am I going to do?
Yeah. You basically built this out around At Ease, though. You want to see that. I don't blame you.
And the next week I'd probably be back to the other show.
Right. One episode of At Ease would probably be enough.
Yeah.
You'd honorably discharge that show after one airing, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, so 9 o'clock then. So 8:30 you're watching At Ease.
Right.
8 o'clock Benson.
Yeah.
So after an hour of uproarious comedy, let's see, Dallas Knight Rider or Renegades. I'm gonna guess Knight Rider.
That was my initial impulse, but then Renegades came along. Again, the curiosity factor got too much of me.
Yeah, I can't blame it. It's an intriguing show.
And the Knight Rider it doesn't sound like a special Knight Rider.
Not at all.
It's not like the one with the evil kit.
Right. That's a very generic description. It could be anything in there.
That could be an episode of BJ and the Bear or
Yeah.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
No real exciting guest stars. But the Renegades, that's something new and fresh,
Yeah.
and I'd be a little curious to see that too.
And you know that Renegades has a great theme song.
Yes. I can tell just by the font of the title.
Exactly.
That I can pretty much hear the theme song in my head.
That's sort of kind of cursive, but like it's spray painted almost.
Yeah. Renegades. It's edgy.
Get a closer look at that.
Yeah, please do. And
Yeah, you got. Well, it's not as gender diverse as I thought. A lot of these guys have long hair
yeah.
and sleeveless shirts. So you got like 8 people, 8 renegades here.
It's a lot of Renegades.
Some of them wearing some sort of vests. Some of them wearing leather jackets. The one woman in the cast, it looks like she might be Tracy Scoggins.
Oh, really?
I don't think it is.
There's only one woman? I thought I saw 2, but... Okay, so yeah, it's definitely not as...
She's got like a satin jacket. Yeah, there's only one woman. So, and then they all have great facial expressions too.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the far left he's making like a whatever look. I'm a renegade.
Yeah.
The next guy, who looks a little bit like Rick Springfield, but I'm sure isn't, he's just kind of looking like a guy on an album cover.
Yeah.
And frankly, this also, it looks almost like crappy movie posters of today. Like really photoshopped, but it's obviously not photoshopped. And there's a guy who, like an Asian guy of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
He's got long hair, and he looks like he's about to maybe fight, but he also looks puzzled.
Yeah,
Like
it's a little ambiguous.
Then obviously the main guy here, and he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's their leader.
And he's standing like almost in profile, but with his head turned, so that's not in profile. And he's got both of his hands down. He's ready to fight. Then there's a guy who looks sort of like the nerd of the group. He's also maybe in like a satin jacket or a sports jacket.
Yeah, he's probably their computer guy.
Yeah, he does have a fist going on, but
in a scrape he can defend himself.
yeah. And then the woman, she's got the one hand you can see is in karate chop mode.
So she's ready to, yeah.
And then you got an African American guy, and yeah, he looks like he's ready to fight too. And he's got some like ragged clothes going on, so maybe he's like an '80s kind of thing. Like it looks like he's got boots and something wrapped around his calf. He's a little hard to see.
They all could have been
and
like.
And then the background is like, and they're like shadows drawn in the ground because they're supposed to be at a weird angle too.
Yeah.
And then the background is like a fence, chain link fence, and then Los Angeles skyline.
Well, they're
Some
from the
palm
streets.
trees. They are from the streets, and life on the street made it tough for them,
Exactly.
but also made them smart and made them cops.
I think all of them could have been extras in a Michael Jackson video.
That's
from
what it
around
looks
that
like.
era.
That's exactly. It
They're
looks
definitely
like
trying to get that vibe.
the extras from Beat It.
Yeah.
So the song now I'm thinking is more. I'm sure it still has a rockin' guitar in it, but also has some of that Beat It, like dance part.
Sure. Yeah, and the main renegade guy looks a little bit like Patrick Swayze to me now that I look at this a little closer.
I'm going to look up the cast of Renegades before we stop this game.
Yes, the woman in the group seems to be brooding a little bit. I'm wondering if...
I have to distinguish it from Renegades, the movie with Kiefer Sutherland and Lou Diamond Phillips.
Yeah, this is definitely not that.
The Renegade. I think the guy in the middle is Patrick Swayze.
All right, okay. Patrick Swayze with something interesting. He's like got a chaw in his mouth, or there's something weird going on with his jaw.
There's something weird.
He's got an odd facial expression that threw us, I think, at first.
Patrick Swayze, Bandit.
Bandit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Philip Kasnoff, Dancer.
Dancer.
Yeah, I can't. The pictures with them are, of course, current or recent.
Yeah.
Randy Brooks is Eagle. That's the African American guy. Cheryl Paris as Tracy. I guess that's Paul Moniz as JT.
Yes.
Angel Granados as Gaucho.
Okay.
Peter Kwong is Dragon.
Okay. Dragon. Of course. Yeah. Of course they made
Yeah.
the Asian guy be Dragon.
And then here's a interesting one. Kurtwood Smith
Kurtwood Smith
as Captain Frank Scanlon.
Oh, okay. So he's the commanding officer
Yeah.
that reports him. So it's kind of like a mod squad kind of deal or something, maybe.
Yeah. There's also a lieutenant and James Shigeta. I know that name.
Oh,
He's Jimmy Lee. Was he on Hawaii Five-0 or no?
I think didn't he become like a director or something? No, maybe not.
He's from Hawaii. Well, he's in Die Hard, Mulan.
So
Anyway,
Patrick Swayze is the star of the show, and he's the head
Yeah.
renegade, I guess.
boy, I didn't catch that at all.
Well, I didn't catch it at first either. They're all kind of equal, but Patrick Swayze's presented a little bit more equal than the rest. He's front and center.
Tracy Scoggins was also in it, and
That-
Brandon Tochi is Dragon. I think I think there was a Renegades movie, maybe a TV movie.
Oh, so maybe that was like a pilot.
Yeah.
That does look like Tracy Scoggins in the picture here.
Okay. Now I got to find the show because that was not the.
The Renegades.
Oh, here it is. Still Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
Still Randy Brooks. An updated version of the Mod Squad.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
With twice the cast.
That is Tracy Scoggins as Tracy. And Brian Tochi replaced Dragon. Fausto Barra replaced the other guy who played Gaucho. Looks like Dancer was recast too. What a recasting. Oh, and the guy on one episode, Thom Christopher, who played Hawk on Buck Rogers,
Oh.
had a guest appearance.
Yeah, so how long did that show last?
6 episodes?
6 episodes.
Plus the pilot movie.
Renegades, we hardly knew ye. I don't see how it didn't last with the
Yeah. And Patrick
concept art
Swayze
like
was
this.
still, what, another 5 or 6 years away from...
correct.
Dirty
Well, I
Dancing?
guess I guess he was in Red Dawn would be his
Red
before
Dawn.
that, but yeah, he was on the cusp of stardom, but
And he was in the Outsiders, right?
yeah, but
But he wasn't a star.
right. So Renegades should have been his big break,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. But certainly can't blame you for going with that and the ABC. So it was an all ABC night for you.
It wasn't all ABC night.
I
ABC.
I think I agree with your reasoning. I think I would have made the same picks.
Yeah. But it was a tough night.
It was a good night of TV. Probably not for ABC though, because they probably got clobbered in the ratings.
I
on
think
Friday.
so. By Dallas.
Yeah, and these shows did not last. There's a reason we don't remember these shows, I
Right.
think.
All the adults were watching Dallas. All the kids were watching Knight Rider. Mm-hmm. And no one is watching the Renegades.
Correct, except you in this game.
Right. Yeah.
Wednesday, the world television premiere.
This dude.
The gangs that think they own the city.
Don't make it worse.
And the cop that's going to change their lives. The best of the street fighters
If they win, we win.
on the side of the law. A new breed of cop, the Renegades.
Nothing gets you into it like TV guys.
Join us next time for another exciting episode of Battle of the Network shows. Learn more, leave feedback, and suggest future episodes at battleofthenetworkshows.com. Follow us on Twitter at BatNetShows and like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Battle of the Network Shows.
Here's two good friends. Tonight is kind of special, the beer we'll pour must say something more somehow. So tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.
Let it be Lowenbrau.
It's been so long, hey, I'm glad to see you. Raise your glass, here's to health and happiness. So tonight, let it be all the best.
When you're with good friends having good times, don't just have a beer, have a Lowenbrau. Because good friends and good times deserve the taste of a great beer. And there's really only one, Lowenbrau.
Tonight, let it be Lowenbrau.